Welcome back to the Johanna podcast. I am so excited about today's episode because the person I have here today is one of the people I love most in the whole world. You get to meet her today. I want to share her with you because she has so much wisdom that she needs to share with you today because she doesn't know. Her name is Johanna, like me. We've been friends for over 20 years. Yeah, today we get to be together. Like we have a lot of kids around, so maybe we'll have visitors later. Let's see. Welcome.
Hi.
I'm so happy that you're here.
I'm so happy being here. I'm really, really thrilled. And you're amazing. I can't wait. This is my first podcast.
It's my second interview, so we're golden. This will be great. One of the reasons why I really felt that you should come on this podcast, because I feel like the people who are listening to this podcast are mostly, I think, mothers in their late 30s, maybe early 40s, our age really, and some dads. I'm really excited that I see really often that I have also some dads listening to this. My dads. And and what I think is so wonderful about you is that you managed to keep a certain playfulness around you during motherhood. And you have a lot of things that are really special, I feel, about your life, and at the same time, so relatable. So if you want to, let us know a little bit about your life before becoming a mom. Like, what would you say were the things that really made you light up?
It's a long time ago. Oh, God. But I remember well. I had a really lovely, spontaneous, wild, free life. And I have to say, becoming a mom the first time was a big slap in my face because I felt very grown up. But I'm a dancer or a dance teacher, and I was doing projects and I was teaching, but mainly in the afternoon. So I had a lot of nightlife. I had a lot of travels that I could do for a long time. It was at the time when Berlin was very affordable and I didn't have to pay much rent. So I was really free in every sense of the word.
How long do you live in Berlin now?
Oh God. So I think it's been 10, 15 years maybe on and off. Yeah. It's a long time and it's changed a lot and I've changed a lot. So that works. But yeah, I had a free life. I was very free-spirited and wild and a lot of partying, but also a lot of dancing, working, visiting people, traveling. It was wonderful. I love my life.
Yeah. I also wanted to clarify that you have not only been a dancer, you've been a classical ballet dancer. You were really dancing on big stages, and now you're still teaching ballet 20 years later.
Yeah.
It's been a big part of your life.
Big part. Yeah. Dance is awesome. I love every form of dance. I used to be classical, but I also tried every direction there is pretty much. And I think just it makes me very happy to move. And now I work a lot with kids as well. And they make me very happy. It's a great job to have, to work with kids and to move. And that's joining in with my playfulness a little bit. I think I need outlets for that.
Yeah. For me, it was always, I don't know, I always felt like I could live vicariously through you. Because I had a very steady life in comparison. And I always felt like you got to live those big adventures. And I was the one who got to see you in Barcelona and in London. And I could come there. And I always loved it, your courage to just go places. And you just didn't care if you had the permission or the money or whatever. You just did it and you made it happen. And that's always something that I loved about you, this spontaneity and this courage.
You did share of adventure. She does it. She's very adventurous. She just doesn't seem that way right now, but she really is. You are big adventure.
Yeah. It's there, but it's in a different way. I feel like this whole I tackle the world there are no borders. I always really admire that about you, and I always also wondered if that's coming from you being born in Eastern Germany, maybe if this is still in there that even though you were really young. I don't know. I sometimes wondered if that was how to drive for you.
I don't have fears, and I don't have fears of not having any money. It doesn't scare me. I'm used to that. And I think you can always find a job and it's always a way. So I'm not so scared generally, I think. And maybe East Germany helped because there were other fears you had to have, but like jobs and a place to live were really not, you didn't have to fear for that. You couldn't lose your flat. You couldn't basically lose your job. People didn't have much, but everyone had those basics really set up. And I grew up in a huge flat and it was just normal to have those spaces and not to be scared of not having anything. Maybe that helped.
Yeah. And this love for travel then, like that now you can go everywhere, right? And this is something that I felt like I feel most people love traveling, but for you, it was really fueling you. Like if you couldn't travel, like that almost felt like you were in a cage. And that made you really,
oh my God. Yeah. And recently I noticed I lived 10 years in the same building in Berlin and it totally freaked me out and I wanted to move to Africa. My husband had to stop me, which is sad, really.
Where to in Africa?
We want to move to Senegal. Yeah. And I heard. I think it would have been.
And being such a free spirit, when was the time when you thought like, I actually want to settle down and have a baby and get married? Like, when did that start for you?
I did always want kids. And then when I was really in love with my husband, the first time, we've been in love more than once, on and off, then I wanted to have kids. I told him, we met when we were 29, and I told him, because I was going to New York, and then I said, when I come back and you're still here, I'm just warning you, I'm going to want to have kids in the next 3 to 5 years. And it totally scared him. He thought I was nuts. Because that was like 3 weeks in. And yeah, so I knew that, but I didn't know what it was going to be like. And that was kind of a big slap.
So you met your husband. When you came back from New York, he was still there.
He was still there.
And he knew that he was in for it.
He did away with it, but I was quite insisting. And then I turned 33 and we got our first son. We had our first son. It changed my life a lot and I didn't see that coming. And I tried to still be kind of cool and go out. And I had a bit of this fear of missing out. I also started teaching again super fast and I wanted to get back in shape. And I think I put a lot of pressure on me. And it wasn't very good. And I felt a bit like caught in this trying to be a very conventional mom as well, because I was brought up very conventional with like lots of rules and clear times and timetables. And I put a lot of pressure on me and my husband. And it was a tough time then. Yeah, it was gonna be hard. My son was very intense as well. Very intense child already from a young age, still is. And it was a testing time because the freedom was gone and I felt that all my freedom was gone and I kind of hated it, to be honest. That feeling. Not my son, but I hated the feeling of being trapped. And the timetables with the kid and my work times are weird. My husband was working in hospitality. He worked weird times, so we were always alone with the kid and put a lot of pressure on each of us. And as a couple, we didn't have any time left and it was really, really shitty.
So the idea of having a child was very different from the reality of having a child?
Totally. Also because of me, I think, because I, had certain ideas in my head how I had to be as a mom. And that was killing me, really. And I noticed much later. 97, almost 8 now.
Yeah. So there was this pressure to like have it all and be it all.
Like
the cool mom, the free spirits.
Yeah, still had lots of party friends in Berlin. Kind of wanted to go out, wanted to work, wanted to be, but also having this idea of how my mom was very much a giving mom and very much only a mom, not really much a woman. So I had also this kind of ideal of having to be really there for your kid and all the time, and you have to give it all. And that was hard to, do, really. Which led to real big problems in our relationship and, unhappiness all around, really.
I think a lot of people can relate. Like, I think this is really how a lot of women actually feel after having the first child. I had an episode a couple weeks back where I talked to a couple other moms, and I was the one like saying like, yeah, I always wanted kids, and then I had my first child, and I was really overwhelmed, like, and borderline super unhappy. And then I met those other moms who said, I never wanted kids. I never cared. I basically got pregnant by accident. And then I totally loved it. And I was surprised how much I loved it. And I think they did not have this like build up, this expectations for decades. Like, this is how it's going to be. And I will be this kind of mom and all of that.
Expectations are shit. In short. Yeah. Because they make you, yeah.
For sure. Still, like, when I saw you with your kid over the years, I always felt like the being with this kid itself, like, this is something that you always could enjoy. Like, I was always a little jealous that playing with your kid, like doing all kinds of like fun or like stupid games or whatever your kid wanted, you were up for it and you were willing to just do it and actually have proper fun. Well, I felt like I was this mom monster saying like, no, stop this later. You have to wait. And you were like, yeah, sure. Let's be teddy bears on crack or whatever.
It makes a very good picture.
You were like, okay, I'm in. And how, is that something that you have to force yourself to, or is it just you?
I really love playing with kids. And I think part of me is still a kid. And that's why I also enjoy working with kids so much, because I can be a little bit like them. And I am still, I don't know if it's because I had such a rigorous ballet upbringing that I wasn't allowed to be a kid when I was a kid. It's my theory, my Michael Jackson theory. But I have that. And that makes it hard though for me to put boundaries and to be the mom. And I really have to force myself to be that strong, strict person saying no more chocolate and no more jumping around after, no, it's bedtime. And, these kind of things are hard for me. But the playtime is fun. I love it.
The people pleasing thing is still really there, right? Like, you have a hard time him not liking you when you put a boundary in place.
Yeah, but he made me learn that a bit, because he could dislike you a lot, my son, and he gets really angry, and I had to learn that a bit, but it's still hard. Playfulness is definitely something I took still with me, despite being a mom. Yeah, I like that. Sweet.
And then you did something that I feel like few people do, right? Like, I feel like most people, like, they have like a kid and then they might have a second within the next 2, 3, 4 years, because they feel like, okay, I'm still in the grind. I still remember the diaper changes, But what you did was really like brave in a way. Like, you had your second child 7 years later, a little bit more than 7 years later, when you were almost 41. Like, I feel that few people would say like, okay, sure, I'm doing it again. Like, my older kid is already completely independent, and now I'm starting over. How was that? How did that come into place?
Asked my mom, she was like, you crazy. Why are you doing this? I'm like, no, I'm so happy. I always wanted 2 kids, but it kind of got a bit out of hand, and we weren't very in a good place as a couple. And then, life goes on and work. And then the first kid is so big that you're like really questioning yourself if you should do it again. But I kind of always wanted to, and my husband was very reluctant. And then I kind of put pistol on his chest, as we say in Germany, and said, now I'm 40, I want to try at least. If nature lets me have one, and I really have this strong desire so much every month that I want to be a mom again. And so raising the hormones. I was like, I'm ready to jump at people almost, baby. And I told him this, and I said, please, let's at least try. And I'm old and aware, it might not happen for me anymore. So he said, okay, we'll try. But he said he wants to move to the countryside. He said, if we have 2 kids, I don't want to do it in Berlin. So we tried to move to the countryside. Yeah. He said, like, don't wait, I don't want to do it in the city. And I said, fine, we're moving to Senegal or wherever. And please, let's try and have another baby. And it worked. The first try, I did not see that coming. It was really fast. And here we are. And he's out there living his best life. Johanna's garden.
And with all the experience you had, like what was different this time? What was different in the pregnancy, the birth, now the time after? Like I have my own impressions, but I would love to hear it from your mouth, like really how it felt for you. Like how was the pregnancy?
It was such a different experience all over. I mean, and I'm so grateful because my first pregnancy was a bit difficult. I had to inject myself. I had problems with my blood flow, and I had to go to the doctor like every second week, and it was scary and exhausting, and I was insecure, and they told me my baby was too small and all these things, and I was scared. It was not so nice. My partner was even more scared, and but I could feel it was kind of all right, but still it was stressful. And the birth was initiated, how you say that? Induced, and that was not so nice, and nothing happened for a long time. And then I had all the drugs on the planet because nothing worked and nothing was going on, and I was in a lot of pain for a long time, and there were like 4 different nurses having shifts, and it was crazy.
But then all the midwives,
I met all this hospital, yeah. And yeah, and then he was there, and then what I said earlier happened. So the second time around now, where I'm totally somewhere else in my life, I'm 40, and I'm loving it, to be honest. The pregnancy was easy. It has nothing's wrong. They told me there's nothing wrong with my blood, and I'm healthy. And I was like, I don't have to go to the doctor. What is this? And they're like, no, you're fine. And yeah, and I always kind of wanted a home birth. And because of this first pregnancy, I thought it was never going to happen. I'm probably going to have to inject myself again. And they said, no, you're fine, actually. And then my midwife said, why are you giving up on your dream of a home birth? And I was like, well, because I'm 40 and I had all these problems. And she said, well, no, but you don't have problems now. You should just try it. And I was like, okay. And I found a home birth midwife. And I could have a home birth of my dreams, thanks to Johanna also. It was magical. It was just fantastic.
I love that your midwife encouraged you and that she said like to not give up on your dream.
Not give up on that dream.
And also love that story. And I hope that like people hear that, like, because I think, as you said, with your first pregnancy, there's so much fear, right? And
much fear.
And I'm sure like some of it is warranted. Like there are no guarantees, and we don't know what life and pregnancy and birth throw at us. We can never really know. But I'm so happy that there are stories like yours.
Oh my God.
Where you can just say like, yeah, I was pregnant at 40 and it was amazing.
It was amazing.
So good.
And the birth was amazing at home, exactly how I imagined it, in the pool, and Johanna was there, and it was so good. And I'm so thankful because all the first one was really, everything was a bit bad. And this one was all perfect. Pregnancy was nice, and the birth was beautiful, painful still, but beautiful.
It was so beautiful.
At home, and yeah, it was everything I dreamed of, really. And the same as now, I can fully enjoy that baby so much more than my first one. I'm aware it's my last one, also, that helps. But also because my first son is so big, and I have this tiny thing, and I can just look at him all day, and I don't have the FOMO anymore, the fear of missing out parties and events and openings of restaurants or museums or, anything that happens in Berlin. I'm like, I don't care. I'm home with my baby. And I'm in bed by 8 p.m. and I just watch him, and it's awesome.
So good. It's so good. You can really like fully surrender to this phase and really be in the moment. Like,
yes,
this is so hard to do.
It's so hard to do.
I'm so terrible at that usually, but I also felt like knowing it's your last baby, you can be like,
oh my God,
soak it all in, and like,
yeah, I even feel bad for my first son to always remember being like at the pram and being, oh, let's sleep now because I need to go there, or I need to call, or I need to prepare some work. With him, I'm like, I don't care. I don't want to work. I don't want to see it anyway. I just want to look at it. And I'm like, I'm good here. And it's such a gift to have this. And I think age helps really a lot with that. Mm-hmm. Like age is, I'm relaxed. I'm much more relaxed. And I don't care so much anymore about all these things. And also, I'm more confident in me as a mom. I know I don't kill them that easily.
So what I also feel is such a gift about this baby is also for your first son. I feel like for him becoming a big brother is also such an amazing blessing.
We were a bit scared about that because he's been alone, and he was a bit of the prince. What can I say? And he's also very intense. So I was scared that he might get angry for being pushed off the throne or.
So is there anything else where you feel like, I wish I would have known this the first time around? Like things that you do differently now?
Yeah, I'm less like how it's supposed to be done. I care less. Like I don't change him that much anymore. I don't bathe him that much. It's just such a hassle. And I don't know. Yeah, I'm just a bit more relaxed in general with sleeping times or timetables or anything like that. I'm just going with the flow. Like I don't know. Like, same with eating and same with other things where I'm not putting that much pressure, and I think it helps the baby and me be relaxed.
That's wonderful. He's like also the most relaxed baby. He's just so sweet, always happy, and I don't know.
Yes, so just happy baby.
So self-reliant.
I'm very happy in that case. Yeah, I wonder if it, of course, has to do with me. No? My first child was so intense and hard with sleeping and hard with eating and hard with everything, and now I have this little Buddha who sleeps and eats, and it's just different story.
I think we can be really hard on ourselves, like blaming us for everything that is hard, but everything that is great is just their personality. And I think sometimes we have to be kind to ourselves and really accept that they come into this world like in different packages and like in different ways. Like, I don't know, I think there are so many things, and your first son is also such a wonderful, incredible.
It makes you grow also. They come with their challenges, and I believe that each kid makes you grow in your own way, and they show you some things that you really had to learn.
They are teachers, for sure.
Oh my God,
for sure. And are there also things that are now maybe harder? Like, do you feel things that are?
I have to admit, at the end of the pregnancy, I could barely walk. I didn't feel very strong with my pelvic floor, and it was hard walking. So I cycled.
But you were dancing as well.
I was teaching. I was teaching. I wasn't dancing much. I'm telling you that much. But I had a hard time with my pelvic floor feeling very soft, and it was a heavy baby, and yeah, that was. I feel maybe if I had been younger, maybe that would have been different physically. Birth was fine.
With the nights now, like the sleep deprivation is going okay.
That's actually going okay. I wait a lot, but because I just go to bed earlier and I just sometimes stay in bed then longer because I don't feel like I have to, get up and do stuff, and then it's really great. But I also have to say my partner is really helping with the big son. So he takes care of making breakfast and bringing him to school so I can be in bed with the baby in the morning, which is a privilege. Yeah.
It is really such a blessing when you get to just be in that bubble. Like we know it's going to be over in no time, right? Like it's just this 1 second that you have a baby, and to really be in it, I'm so happy for you. And love like seeing you glow like this.
Yeah, it's really, we're so happy with him. Also, my husband, who was not totally, in love with the idea, he's so in love with the baby, and he's so happy we did this. And yeah, we're complete now, and it feels like that. And I'm happy I had the courage to go through that,
Talking about your husband, there is another topic that is so important to me, really. Like, I feel like my own happiness and my whole family's happiness is really so dependent on how connected my husband and I are. And I feel like you and your husband also have this really intense passion between you. And it's not always an easy relationship, right? Which relationship is, but somehow there is a fire between you, like even after a lot of years and 2 kids in. And I would love to, like, as much as you feel comfortable sharing, love to hear a little bit about, like, is there something that you do on purpose? Does it come naturally to you? How does it work? I know that the pregnancy was steamy.
Oh my God, you're so best things going on now. I have to say, I'm shocked myself. I love men, and I love a lot of men usually. Like I always see beautiful men, and I'm very physical, maybe also because of my sports background or something. So being in a monogamous relationship for that long is already baffling to me, really. So, and also still being super attracted to my husband. Like, it's nuts. I just find him so attractive. And it's been, what, 13 years or something? And I still find him attractive. And it's shocking. And it's our way of communicating, though. I have to say, my husband is not a big communicator. And he can be very quiet, and he's more introvert, and so it's always been important to us to have this physical connection. Like, it's just there and it's beautiful, and we have to kind of keep it up. It's not been hard though. Like, pregnancy was wonderful. I have to say, after giving birth, I am also not the most sexual person. Like, I feel like a mother animal. I'm not at home in my body. I'm constantly breastfeeding or linking, or not so comfortable being touched, or so it's been different since then. But usually our love language, and even through laws in our relationship, we've always had a good connection physically, and it's just our way. And I think a little bit of a key is that we're both also very touchy in everyday life. So we hug, we cuddle, we have little touches that always he always makes me feel like a woman, and like a woman to be desired even, which is awesome. And I hope I can do the same for him, because I do have that feeling. And even now that I don't feel so desirable, and I still feel very much like a mother animal feeding baby, that he makes me feel beautiful and I feel seen, and I try and give that back to him. And I think that's super important to me in a relationship. I couldn't be in a marriage without that.
Mm-hmm.
And I definitely wouldn't be in with one man. I would, if that wasn't the case, I think I would have, I have to find other outlets. So I'm really happy, and I don't really know the key to it other than keep showing these little signs, and then the big ones will come automatically. I think the little moments of feeling desired, feeling desirable, and physicalness,
Mm-hmm.
and just even grabbing the butt, or just like little things where I'm like, still, because you can feel physical as a mom, and ballet was so slow. I was like, no one looks at you. I felt that I could walk naked and no one said.
It's not a small thing.
It's not a small thing.
Like, those little things make the whole difference. Like, it's so hard, like, because you can't change gears at night, right? Like, if you've just been in mother mode all day and you did not ever feel like a woman. And I think this is, I don't know, but to me, it feels like it's especially true in Germany. I feel like mothers in Germany are non-sexual by nature.
Yes.
There is so, it's not a thing.
I was in my pregnancy in Italy. We were in Sicily. I was obviously pregnant, and a man was like, "Do you guys want to have coming to me and my friend?" I was like, "Yeah, of course. Are you aware that I'm flirting with a pregnant woman?" It was awesome. I felt so attractive. I was like, "Yeah, I'm pregnant and sexy, and someone wants to go on."
And our virginity goddess.
Yeah, I was wow. Does he care?
Yeah, and I think that's really missing, and it makes such a difference if you have a partner who really makes an effort to show you, and like, not only by words, right? Because words can sometimes be not very meaningful when you don't feel it.
Yeah.
But like, having those little gestures that are not just like demanding, like not only in moments when they really want something, but when they just pay you compliments, like in moments where nothing could even happen, right? It's really just for you.
Yes.
That you get.
That's the magic, man. That's where the magic is. Yeah. When you're just walking after the shower and you bend, and the husband's just, you catch his glance being like, hello. Yes. That's wonderful, especially in moments where you don't feel so at home in your body, or where you feel, it's been changing and still not what you were normally feeling
100% relate. And I think it's really not everyone has that, right? Also, not everyone has this. Like, you had this strong sexual energy anyway. Like, you always had it. And I've always loved it about you, that you are so physical and that you can really enjoy it and enjoy your body. Like, that's not easy to reach for everyone. Like, I totally understand that. But I love that you were able to keep that, like, through motherhood and still be in that space.
I'm so happy about that too. Are you happy about that too?
Yes. And I'm sure that for the kids, this also makes a big difference. And it feels good for a kid when they feel the connection between the parents. Definitely. Even though our kids are really good at like stopping us. Every time we kiss, there's like at least one or two like jumping on us and like trying to get between us. Like,
wow.
It's crazy.
And my big son, he's watching, and then he's a bit like half like and half like he's not sure but it's cute. He's like watching, and the other one we danced, and he was so embarrassed that we both danced, and he said, stop it, but then he kind of likes it. It's just kind of, and I hate it. Yeah, it's just preteen almost.
It feels like that, right?
Yeah,
almost
it's crazy. Yeah,
we don't know what we're in for.
Yeah,
it's really interesting.
It's too fast.
Is there anything that we haven't talked about where you feel if someone is watching who's like thinking about like, should I really do it again? Like, should I have another baby at 40 or not? Like, is there something?
I would say yes, but of course you've kind of got that. I say I'm immensely enjoying the second one, and I didn't always do the first one. It's bad to say, but I'm so happy. And I would also say dare it also when you're older, because it's just so much fun and joy. And I know not every baby is that easy, but still, like I celebrate much more knowing how fast it goes, that they grow, and knowing that's going to be my last baby. And that's just worth it. I say, yes, have your second baby. Have it late.
Do it anyway.
It's totally worth it. Yeah, do it anyway. Even if my whole family was like, oh, no, you're too old. Don't do it.
No. I think there are no logical reasons for having a child, right? Like,
no.
It doesn't make sense money-wise or time-wise or whatever. But if you feel the urge, then it's just such a blessing if you can
at least give it a chance. Like, at least try. Nature might decide. I think, yeah, that's my end word.
Have more babies. And more babies. They're always worth it. I'm so happy for you. Thank you so much. It was such a gift to have you.
We're lucky.
Yeah,
for sure. I know.
With all the little kids that joined us today and were interrupted like 100 times. But we hope it will still make sense and you really get to feel like this energy that Johanna brings. Like, I'm so happy that I get to share her today with you.
And how do we here?
And have a wonderful day. I will see you again next Friday. And yeah, all the best. Remember to be your own life doula. Yes.